Hello, everybody. Happy Vlogmas. Happy day 2 of Vlogmas. If you are joining live, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. If you are new to my channel and you found me during Vlogmas, I never realized before how many people actually discovered me during Vlogmas until recently. I had a lot of people tell me that that was the first time that they watched one of my videos. So if you are new here, welcome. This live is something that we do all the time. This is something that I started at the very beginning of the pandemic, this whole situation, where I had some extra time. I was at home and I started just going live once a week during lunch on Tuesdays. And since then, we've moved it to the evenings and we've moved it to Wednesdays. But live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern is something that we always do. So obviously incorporated it as part of Vlogmas, but this is going to be one of our typical Q&As. So whatever questions you have about goals, about planning, about life, about cats, whatever you want to talk about, I am here to chat. Let's kick it off with our first question that we always start with, and that is, what are you drinking? Well, hitting the computer. I am drinking the tea for my David's tea today. It is a rooibos cinnamon tea. It is fantastic. It's delicious and it's like the perfect temperature right now. So I'm going to sip it while I read a lot of your comments. I already saw some hellos. Lots of you sharing where you are watching from. So excited. Joss, you've got water, root beer, and tea. So many options. Lots of water. Ooh, Katie, we're twins with our Advent calendar tea. Ooh, lots of water. We've got some coffee. Yes, Lisa, I did finally get into my December daily stuff. I organized all of it. I've already done day 1 and day 2. Well, I've done my first page and I've done day 1, like my reason why page. And then I've done day 1 and I've gotten into it. And then right before this, my mom checked the mail and I got more numbers from Candy, who sent me the white numbers. She ordered from the, I almost said HGTV, the HSN package from Allie Edwards, and she had extra white numbers. So she sent me those. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm all organized and I'm doing it. I watched very few of the videos, but that's okay. It's all right. It's happening. Cindy, because you're a raisin. Also, if y'all are into the lives tonight, head on over to Cindy's channel after this. She is going live 2 hours from right now as part of her Vlogmas series. So go check it out. I love Cindy. You've seen her here. I've talked about her before. Okay. Looks like we got lots of drinking, lots of water, lots of things. Okay. Getting into the questions, Joss, what are the main ways that you are able to keep focus and almost remember your goals? That's a great question. I have found that one of the most common reasons that people don't achieve their goals is that they just forget that they're a goal. And so that's why one of the things I always talk about is to make sure, if you're putting it on your power sheets or your Moxie or wherever you're setting goals, your phone, piece of paper, make sure it goes into your calendar. Make sure it goes into your planner, that you are scheduling time to work on your goals. If it is a habit type goal, like not something that's going to take up a significant amount of time, then you need to make sure that you're writing it down on a place that you check every day. So what planner, what tool? It might be your phone. It might be a digital tool. It might be a reminder on your phone. But what are you using every single day that you will check in and remind yourself that you're working on your goal? For me, it's most of the time, it's my plum paper daily. It's a habit, something that I'm working on every single day. And then if it's a more big picture thing that I need to schedule time for, I schedule time for it in my Google Cal. Ooh, Amy, this is a great question. When does the one little word stuff? I saw a post in the Facebook group. I want to say that they were delayed and it's supposed to come out sometime this month. It does feel very delayed. I think it normally comes out earlier, maybe November. Honestly, I mean, I bought all of it last year and I got through 3 months and then I gave up. At one point, I thought I was going to try and pick back up again and catch up. And to be honest, I never did. And I decided to just call 2020 a wash with one little word, and I'm going to try again next year. Alexis, I will be sharing my holiday wish list as part of a vlog at some point, but I can go ahead and give you an idea. I don't remember all of the exact things. Some of them were some clothes that I needed. So I needed some more sweatpants because 2020, I needed, like, I've gotten holes in my sweatpants from wearing them so much. Not like I need more, because hopefully we're eventually going back to work and I won't be wearing sweatpants every day. I needed some new sports bras. I asked for a lot of books. We talked about this one week that I'm going to try to not buy books in 2021. So I either need to read a book that I already have or rent it from the library or borrow it from a friend. And so I think I put 15 books, like specific books on my Christmas list. So I don't know if I'm going to get all of them or if my family's just going to be like, I'm not doing that. Here's an Amazon gift card, but I am not buying books in 21. So I asked for a lot of books. And then the one like kind of splurgy fun thing that I asked for is that fancy scale that measures more than weight. So I've seen multiple Instagrammers talk about it on Instagram, and I almost just like was influenced by them and bought it myself, but I decided I can wait until the new year. And so I asked for one of those weights or one of those scales. I will look at the rest of my list. I can't think of anything else right now. And I will definitely share the whole thing in a vlog. Cassie, did you participate in any Black Friday sales or Cyber planner sales? So planner wise, the only place I shopped was Chrissy Ann Designs. That's the only place I shopped planner wise. Just for fun, I'm going to tell you the other places that I shopped. I shopped at Four Sigmatic. I got a bunch of stuff, some restock of some stuff that I like, and then some new stuff that I wanted to try. I shopped at a couple places for gifts. I'm not going to share in case any of my friends or family watches. I shopped at a couple places for gifts. For me, the only other place I shopped was Soma, which is where I like to get bras. And so I grabbed a couple new bras because they were 40% off. Oh, Danielle, this is a fun question. What are your mom's cats' names? So my mom has three cats. Some people are like, I don't understand how many cats are involved. So my mom has three cats. She's got two older boys that are almost 14 or almost 15. They're black cats, and their names are Rocky and Rolly, like rock and roll. And then the Bengal kitty, her name is Jazzy. So it's like rock, roll, and jazz. And she is 10. How do you keep track of items that you want to do but aren't for the current day or week? This is a good question, Chloe. To be honest, I personally don't work well with like a running to-do list or a weekly to-do list. So when I think of something that I need to do, if it is a quick thing, like, can I do it right then and there in the middle of that moment? If I'm in the middle of something or it's going to take too long, then I won't deal with it. If it is something that I think I can get to today, so it's a 5-minute task or something I can likely get to today, I just write it on the to-do list section of my planner, my daily planner. Sometimes it ends up getting moved to future days, which is totally fine. But if it's something that I think I can get to today, I'll write it there. Even if it's something that I don't necessarily think I can get to today, but it's a 5-minute task that I'll get to later in the week, I will still likely write it on today's planner and then just know that I'm going to end up moving it to the next day. I have found I don't like writing on my daily planner days in advance. I just don't like having it there. I like turning the page to a fresh blank page every single day. So I just don't do it. I would rather write it on the current day that we're working on. If it is something that is going to take more time than 5 minutes, I go to my Google Cal and I find a time for it. Now, sometimes I'll jot it on a sticky note if I'm in the middle of something and I don't want to forget. And then I will go put it in my Google Cal later, or I'll go put it in my Google Cal on some arbitrary time, most of the time, which is like the white space on the weekends. And then I have to move it around later to when I'm actually going to do it. Oh, Alexis, with Sam celebrating Hanukkah, does it mean you get Lockies? So normally, yes. Normally we'll usually do something Hanukkah related with friends. Because we're not in New York, I don't actually know what we're going to do. I mean, we'll celebrate with my family, but we're going to have to figure it out. Neither of us know how to cook a lot of those things. I'm sure I can find a place in Chicago to order from to get some of his favorite Hanukkah food. Yeah, I still have to figure that out. I guess I have 8 days to figure that out. Jessica, it was really nice. Honestly, I didn't notice it too much until the time with my family. So the first couple of days while I was still working, I didn't really notice it, to be honest. But then once I was with my family, it was really, really nice to like not feel guilty for not picking up the camera the whole day. But trust me, I have more than made up for it in the last 2 days. whatever it is about Vlogmas just gets me going, and I just vlog all of the things. I have so much footage from the last 2 days. It's just a lot. Oh, this is a good question. What is one little word? So one little word is a memory keeping project slash journey, self-development kind of thing. So Allie Edwards, who I've talked about before because she does December Daily, she has a lot of memory keeping stuff that I really enjoy. So she has this project called One Little Word where you pick a word of the year and there's a monthly project that you work on that's kind of like scrapbooking, but honestly, it's not super crafty. It's not like December Daily at all. It's not like you could just literally write on the pages and stick them in the page protectors and maybe print a photo here or there and be totally fine. But it's about like there's questions and prompts and activities that you do to help you embrace and engage with your word throughout the entire year. Ooh, what is your favorite memory from the past month in Chicago? Honestly, it's all of the game playing. So my family loves to play games. I love to play games, but Sam and I don't do it often because there just isn't as many good two-player games like that are really fun and enjoyable for just two people. And so we don't play a lot of games, just the two of us. But being here, even whether it's just the four of us, whether we have a sibling here, because every now and then one of my siblings will randomly come stay for a day or two, then we have more people, but we have been playing a lot of games and it's just so nice. It's been so fun. Papa, I'm in my mom's other apartment. So my mom's second apartment that she rents out. That's my papa. I appreciate you saying that you're asking it nicely because I have been asked this for years and years and years and years. And a lot of the times it's not asked in a very nice way. I don't have a reason. That's just how I write them. And that's just like, I don't know when that happened or when that changed. But that's just how I write them. Oh, Rachel, I'm very, very sorry to hear about your loss. This is a great question for anybody. Do you have tips to get back motivated after you fall off? So, my tip is not necessarily about getting motivated, it's about getting started. So, the best way to get motivated is to get started, and the best way to get started is to start small. So, even if you felt like you were doing a really good job and you were doing all of these things, you were accomplishing all these goals, instead of trying to go from 0 to 10 and to go back into all of those things that you were doing, pick one thing that you want to get started with again. And then once you pick that one thing, pick one piece of that one thing that you want to get started with and just start with one small, very, very, very manageable step and start with that. And once you start doing that consistently, then you will build the momentum and then you can add on and layer on because momentum will breed that motivation. So don't worry about just trying to start it all one day. Like it's almost as if you're starting over. I know you're not because you were doing a good job, but it's almost as if you are. Whenever you like stop doing something, it's so much harder to get started. So you're almost better off like doing something small every day. So pick that one small thing and just get started. All that, Joss, all of that. Like, yeah, the planner, I'm like, of course I can buy that. And the bra, I'm like, that's so ridiculous. All of that. What is your favorite book you have read so far this year? The Lazy Genius, hands down, is the best book I read this year. That was the most helpful book I read this year. Ooh, Robin, this is a good question. How do you come up with goal ideas or smaller steps towards your bigger goals? So this is something we are going to talk about during the workshop next weekend, but just to touch on it a little bit, some of it is you have to just think about what it means. So whatever the goal is, what are the steps you're going to take to achieve that goal? And some goals are way easier to think of the steps than others, right? If it's a really obvious chronological thing, it's really easy. Sometimes I Google, to be honest with you. Like if I'm trying to work on something, I will Google like ways to be better at this or ways to achieve this to come up with more ideas. The other thing that I realize is all of those ideas don't come out in one foul swoop. Like I can't sit down and brain dump an entire list of ideas. I did a video called Breaking Down Your Goals, where I show how I do like a mind map when I break down my goals. That doesn't always happen in one sitting. Like, it doesn't come to me in one moment. It's going to take time and days, weeks, sometimes even months before I think of another idea of how to make progress on that goal. And that's totally fine. Oh my gosh. Cindy, have you experimented with Google Keep? No. Well, let me take that back. Yes, once. I think I made 3 lists and I haven't gone back and looked at them since. I want to do it, but that's one of those things that I like paper. I like writing it down on paper. I don't know why. I think what I like about digital when I use my Google Cal is that the flexibility, and making a to-do list, like, it doesn't need to be flexible. So I don't feel the need. Now, I know that there's a lot of other benefits to Google Keep, and my friend Casey keeps trying to get me to figure it out because she does a good job of using it, where she like links the grocery list one with her husband, and they have it's all together. And I know that Jen talked about it on Instagram and showed hers. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out how to use it in my system to effectively make it work for me. Yes, Crystal, I have answered this question before. I do a family down in Texas. They're in San Antonio, in Chicago, family, obviously, that we're here with right now. And I live in New York. We are planning to settle in Chicago long-term. It's kind of a happy medium between we get a big city, but we get a much more reasonable cost of living, and we get closer to family. Oops, I fast forwarded a little bit. Hang on. Ooh, this sounds fun, Cindy. You guys should download Tabletop Simulator. We play all sorts of games with my family using Discord's voice chat. Huh. We'll have to try that. I think it's also just easier to, like, when you set up things like that, right? Like back in March and April when we were doing all of the Zooms, like, it takes an effort to schedule the time that you're going to do it with your family. Whereas like when we're staying with him, it's really easy to just be done with dinner. And it's like, well, do you want to watch a movie or want to play a game? And then we like decide to play a game. It's a lot more work on a random Tuesday to be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's all schedule time to play a game together. You know what I mean? But I need to figure it out. Heather, great question. How do you avoid the traps of the things that you should be doing versus the things you actually want to do? So I finally have a good answer to this because of something that Tammy said to me the other day in a text message. Instead of the word should, use the word need. Is this something that you need to do? So things like moving your body, like doing something active for your body and not sitting all day. Stop saying that's something you should do. That's something you need to do for your body. Now, something like, I'm trying to think of an example of something that people always say, oh, getting up early. Okay. A lot of people say you should get up early to control your day. Maybe you're not a morning person. So maybe you don't have to get up early. And instead, you need to work on your habits at night when you have more energy. So I think looking at it from a mindset of what you need to do, not what you should do. Is it something that you need to get done because it would better your life and it's good for you in some way, shape, or form? Then try and find a way to incorporate that, whether that's in your goals or just in your life, find a way to incorporate that. But if it's something that you feel like you should do because other people do it, don't feel like you have to do it. One of the other examples that I love is my stepdad. So everybody says, like, to be a successful person, you should read books. My stepdad does not read. He does not like reading. He reads like the news on his phone, but he does not read books. And he is very successful. Like, just because somebody says you should doesn't mean you have to. Have I ever tried using Rocketbook? I have not. I've never actually even heard of that. Is it a digital tool or a physical tool? When I did my actuarial exam stuff, do you think I could have used my iPad for studying and notes? Jessica, I think I didn't have my iPad when I was studying for exams. I think I still would have preferred to have physical paper for notes and stuff, but I would have liked having an iPad for watching videos and taking practice exams, because having to lug my computer with me when I went to study at coffee shops remember when that was a thing. Would have been nice to have my iPad, but honestly, like I wouldn't have taken notes on it. I still would have printed out all the slides. I'm just a paper person. Oh, Caitlin, this is so tough. How do you overcome planner perfection? I have a new planner and I want to use it for the whole year, and I've never been able to stay in a planner. So I'm going to assume by your question that you haven't been able to stay in a planner because you mess something up. Well, I try to remember. The nice thing about planners is that you can turn the page and start for a fresh week. So one of the things that I've always tried to do to help myself stay in planners is don't set up future weeks. And future months. Like don't touch weeks and months until you get closer to that week or month. And then if you change your style or you get a new sticker kit that you really like or whatever it is, you haven't already put stuff down in the future. Sticky note, always in the future until you got to that week or that month, or maybe a couple weeks before. That's one of the big things that I found helps me stay into it. The other thing that I try to remember is what else would I spend that money on? So I struggle with this too. Like I recently bent one of my books, like I bent the cover and it looks awful. And it's one of those books that I want to keep and I want to reference in the future. And I was like, should I just get a new one? It's like $10. And I'm like, seriously, in $10, you can do a lot more with that $10. You can buy a brand new pack of pens. You can buy 2 drinks at Starbucks. You can buy a lot more $10 than a book that you already have because the cover is bent, right? Come on. So I try to remind myself that there is value in that money, even if it's not that much or it's on sale or whatever it is. And just my perfection is not as important as whatever else is that I could spend that money on. I hope that was helpful. I've mentioned this before in a Q&A, but I work in the insurance industry. I work in life insurance. I started out as an actuary in life insurance and decided that I needed some more human interaction. So now I work in product development. Everybody's talking about Among Us, I think is the name of that game. I can't get it. I just get way too into things like that. Like when I play Pokemon Go, I got so into it and it was so ridiculous. I wanted to just go for walks all the time, which was good to play it, but I was addicted to it. And so I can't play. Do you have a goal setting or planning habit that you're very stubborn about, but you don't think it always serves you well? That's a good question, Suzanne. Yes. So I always feel like I need to do a little bit of progress on all of my goals every month for the most part. Sometimes I'm okay giving up 1 or 2, but I have rarely ever just gone all in on one goal at one time. And I think that could really benefit me if I decided to really focus in on one thing and just let everything else fall by the wayside. But that's just not my personality. And I think I don't know. I think it can be beneficial either way. I've said that before, but I do think that there's times that focusing in on one thing at one time can really benefit you. And I've just never been able to do that. It's paper that you erase and you can take pictures and it reads your handwriting and allows those pages to be searchable. Whoa. Well, that's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that. Colleen, do you have a goal that you keep writing down but never actually get done? Like one you keep trying year after year? Yeah. Lose weight. I write down that goal every year and I try to work on it every year. And I finally thought, and I was doing it. January and February, I was doing it. I was doing Weight Watchers. I was going to the gym 5 times a week. I think it was a combination of joining a gym with Sam and preparing for the wedding. And I was doing it. And then everything fell apart. So I don't know. That's it. That's the one for me. Do you fill out the monthly calendar in the planner, in the power sheets before you break down your monthly action items or daily tasks to judge how much time you will spend on them each month? Shannon, yes. So I've shown this in videos before. All I fill out in the monthly, so basically what I do, I actually go to Google Cal and I get my month all set up. And then I look at how much extra time I have to spend on my goals based on everything else I have going on that month. And then what I'll do in my Power Sheets calendar is I'll write down, I have 1 hour this day, or I have 2.5 hours this day to work on my goals, whatever that timing looks like. And then I can reference that while I'm working on my monthly and weekly action items. I'm trying to think of what month is the best to see that, because I was doing it pretty consistently and then I kind of stopped doing it. Probably like February or March are probably good ones if you watch my goal setting video from those times of year. Do you have any plans for 2021? January even, really struggling to think beyond this month in 2020? No. Well, let me take that back. The plans we have are at some point in January to drive back to New York. That's plan one. At some point in March, we're going to move apartments from our old apartment to a new apartment. So we have to find an apartment. And then we have 3 weddings that we're invited to in the fall of 21. I don't know if those are going to happen. It's a lot of weddings, but those are the plans that we have. So not kind of, but not really. Ooh, how do you decide what to include in your weekly vlogs? Honestly, there's no rhyme or reason. I try to always keep in the back of my mind, does this add value to you? Like, what is the value of me showing you this thing or telling you this thing or saying this thing? And I try to really keep that in mind. Like, does this help you achieve your goals in some way? And sometimes it's just seeing me fail or succeed at achieving my goals and just seeing a real person work on their goals. And sometimes it's really specific, honestly. And then sometimes it's just what I want to document. I've definitely strayed away from that because I know that that's not always everybody else's favorite part of the vlog. Like if I document, someone told me like, please stop showing somebody else's wedding in the vlogs. And I'm like, okay, but that's for me to like document that person's wedding. So it's kind of all over the place. But honestly, I do a lot of times what I would want to watch as a viewer. Yes, I am planning to change my last name when I get married. In fact, I already got something. I already got something with my new initials on it. It was a gift last year from a friend, a very, very generous gift. And it was something that I knew I would keep for years and years and years. And so when she asked me what initials I wanted on it, I, at the time, thought it was like 15 months from maybe 14 months from being married. And so I got my new initials. Now we're still another like 15 months from being married, but it's fine. Thoughts on mental health and tips on sustaining happiness around the holidays and during this crazy time. So for me, what works well for me is I always just have to do stuff that makes me happy, regardless of what anybody else wants me to be doing. Like sometimes I just need to take a bath in the evenings instead of watch TV with my family. Sometimes I just need that time for me. Sometimes I need to just sleep in on a certain day. I just would make sure that you're taking time for just you and not doing things alone for other people, but doing things alone just for yourself. Oh, I lost my spot. Oh my gosh, Robin, I love my hatch. I love my hatch. This is a fun question. Have any of your family members been inspired to plan or goal set because of you? So I don't think so. Really. My sister is already kind of an innate planner girl. And so she's bought planners. Like she just recently purchased a plum paper that she loves. I shared a picture of it on Instagram the other day because she just came up with this brilliant idea for the habit tracker section to track her work schedule. It's amazing. But she's always kind of been like that. Like she's always been into planners too. I just think I enable her a little bit more. I'm like, oh, look at this planner. Look at this planner. But nothing else really. And nobody else has really been inspired to like goal set. I've gifted power sheets and planners and people don't use them. Kelly, I definitely struggle with this. The good news is at night, my hatch tells me to stop reading. So when the light turns off, like that's it, the light turns off and I'm done. And I have to put the book down. But the problem is when I get really into a book, I will take every spare moment to read it. I will while I'm eating my lunch or, anytime I'm taking a break from work or anytime I am sitting on the couch in the evenings, like I will just read the book. It's hard because there's definitely a balance between reading a really good book that you want to read, but not overdoing it, right? So I love all the conversations about the books and the Kindles and the podcasts. Oh, Hannah, this is a good question. How do you differentiate how much detail you put in your monthly, weekly, and daily calendars? So for me, I don't really the monthly and the daily are just, or sorry, the monthly and the weekly are in Google Cal. And so it is just mapped out basically every hour. Although I mentioned this to my patrons last month, I took sleep out of my Google Cal because I just needed more white space. Like I needed to see more white space. And that was the one thing that I knew I could take out. So I actually took sleep out of my Google Cal. But other than that, everything that I plan out is in my Google Cal. And then I use my Plum paper daily. And so basically what I will do is transfer the things that are in my Google Cal to my Plum paper where I can actually check them off when they happen, with the exception of work, like my 9 to 5, I don't transfer that out. And then I have that space for like actual to-do task type things. I think there's no like hard and fast rule, right? There's no specific way, like you have to do it this way and this is the best way. I think it's just whatever works well for you and whatever feels like it's helping you without pulling you down, whether that is it's too much and it feels repetitive, or whether it's not enough and you need more detail, whatever it is that you need, just to find that balance for yourself. A kitty, Jessica, that's so exciting. Heather, so I'm having trouble coming up with arching themes for my annual goals in each area that are actually quantifiable. I have steps that are actionable, but not annually. So I have said this a few places. I don't think that every goal has to be quantifiable. I just don't. I don't think they all have to be SMART goals. I don't think that every single goal that you set has to be that measurable. I think that if you want the goal to just to be to work on X, I think that's totally fine. And the other thing I realized is that it's okay for them to be different. So for 2021, I'm thinking that some of them, I am going to get specific. Like I'm going to get specific on the number of books that I want to read. I'm going to get specific on the amount of weight that I want to lose. I'm going to get specific on some of them. But for some of them, I don't have a specific quantifiable thing. And that's okay. I can just come up with actions that work towards that thing without it being like, do X, Y, Z. So I think that it's okay if you can't, because I don't think you have to. I would challenge you to maybe just think of a verb or a word rather than just like work on this. Like I want to grow, I want to develop. I like think of a verb to go with that category, but I don't think it has to be quantifiable. Chloe, can you talk about how you plan your work days? Since work is both an appointment and task-based, it can be a challenge. Yeah, honestly, I don't really plan out my work days. To be honest, I have a planner that I will put I will put my meetings in. That way I can see like where my chunks of time are. And then I have a to-do list section. And basically when I'm not in a meeting, I just go to the to-do list and what is the most important thing or what is the quickest thing that I can just get done. And then I try to make sure I clean out my email inbox first thing in the morning and before the end of the day. That's pretty much it. I don't really do a ton of like planning out my workday. Any tips about working from home, Nat? That's tough. I think at this point I've found that I need a daily planner. I need all that space and I need a fresh start every single day. I need there to be boundaries. I need to get up from my desk during lunch. I need there to be time-bound boundaries. So 8 to 11, away from my desk, 11 to 12, back to my desk from 12 to 4. I think I'm trying to think how to explain this. I know that I am more productive at home. When I think about all the like little side conversations I would have with my coworkers, when I think about how often I would like linger after a meeting to talk to somebody or whatever, like there were a lot more of those like little interactions. And so I have to remind myself to take breaks because otherwise it's too much. So I think just thinking about what your day looked like when you were in the office and trying a little bit to replicate that. I love planning my day out, but using times makes me feel confined and disappointed when I don't do it on time. How do you get around this guilt? And ultimately, I'm motivated. Don't give it times. So, I mean, I put times in my Google Cal just to make sure I don't overschedule myself, but I don't put times on my daily. Like if you look at my daily, well, let me take that back. I put a time if there's a time. So, like, here's tomorrow. So I don't put like I have to do this from this time to this time and this from this time, blah, blah, blah. This is morning, lunchtime, after work. This is a timed thing. So I have the time that it starts, but I don't have times for anything else because I'm the same way. I don't like there to be scheduled times because then if you get off track, then you feel bad. So that's a good idea, Joss. I'll add that to my list. What is your favorite dessert at a holiday, restaurants, at home? So my favorite dessert is just basically like a good, delicious chocolate cake. My mom makes this one. It's literally called, no tiny ears, Better Than Sex Cake. And it is fantastic. It is chocolate. One of the key secret ingredients to the actual batter is chocolate pudding mix. And then she puts chocolate chips in it. It's so good. So basically like a chocolate cake like that. So like really the steakhouses always have the best version of like a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. That's like my favorite thing at a restaurant. Um, do I have any other favorite desserts? I can't really think of anything right now. I love cake, like the cake, cupcakes, like the consistency of cake. That's like one of my favorite things. This is funny, Ashley. I normally watch your videos post at 2 times speed, along with everything else to save time, and it feels super slow. I totally get you. I watch most people at 1.5. 2, there's only a couple people I can handle at 2. I watch most people at 1.5. And then when I hear them at 1, I'm like, why are you talking so slow? Or like today, I was looking for music for Vlogmas, and there's that Christmas song that like everybody uses in their Vlogmas. So like Christmas in my heart. So I listen to it all at 1.5. And so when I listened to it today on the website at 1, I was like, wait, the song is actually really, really, really slow. It was very strange. But that's a good tip. That's why I posted your comment here. If you're looking to save some time, maybe not 2 times if you can't handle it right away, but bump up everybody to 1.5. You just saved yourself 33% of the time. Ooh, this is a good tip. Investing in a good chair. Yeah, that's a good one. Sorry, I'm over here talking about like schedules and planning, and you guys are like, good chair, extra monitor, all of those things. Those things are all important as well. Favorite snacks. Mine is probably goldfish. I love goldfish. It's one of my favorite things. I am all caught up on comments. Ooh, yes. Yes, Crystal. I am a fan of Portillo's chocolate cake. It's not the best chocolate cake I've ever had. My mom's homemade chocolate cake I was talking about is better than that, but I will eat it. In fact, at Go Wild in Nashville, Renee, who is a friend of mine that lives here in the Chicago suburbs, was driving and she brought a Portillo's chocolate cake for me and Jen Dufour, who are both misplaced Chicagoans. I don't know if I'm really a Chicagoan because I never actually lived in the city and I didn't grow up here, but we both love Portillo's and Portillo's chocolate cake. And so Renee brought a whole one to Go Wild, and we sat in her hotel room and ate it on the floor. It was fantastic. I like the shake better than just the cake by itself. Ooh, so I have been resisting audiobooks. We've talked about this, y'all. But maybe that would help me read more books is by doing them on Audible. I think a couple things that hold me back from audiobooks, and we've talked about this in Patreon. One is not being able to as easily highlight and take notes for when I want to take notes. One is feeling like I'm already behind on my podcast. And so then if I start listening to audiobooks, I'm really going to never get caught up on my podcast. Okay, those are it. Those are the only 2. Oh my gosh. The pecan pie from the place in Houston was amazing. It's like a cavity and a bite, but it's fantastic. Highly, highly recommend. Oh, perfectionism might be one of my big goals too, Caitlin. So any books or podcasts that I recommend. So Sam Laura Brown, that is like her specific topic. Is she talks about perfectionism. I am blanking on the name of her podcast. Perfectionism Project, I think is what it's called. And she's Australian and has this amazing accent. So that one I definitely recommend. I think the Lazy Genius podcast helped me get over perfectionism too, because the concept of lazy genius is being a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. And so being able to just let go of things and be lazy about them has really helped with my perfectionism. Michelle, Audible is your love language. Maybe I need to give Audible a chance in the new year. Oh, Amy, what is my favorite Christmas song? I have a lot. I did a video on this. I did my top 10 favorite Christmas songs during my first Vlogmas. But I would say my favorite one is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, especially the part where he talks about the trees and the hotel and in the park. It just makes me think of New York at Christmas time, and I just love it. I just love it. Yeah, see, a lot of people listen to audiobooks while driving, and I don't drive anywhere or commute right now, to be honest. And when I was commuting, that's when I watched YouTube videos because I would commute on a subway. And so I would get caught up on YouTube videos on the subway. Ooh, Hustle Sanely podcast. That's a good recommendation. I haven't listened to that, but thanks. Audiobooks could be good for your fiction books. Yeah, Elise, the problem with that is that's when I read fiction books at night before bed. I don't really read fiction books like during the day ever at all. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Jessica. What a coincidence. Yes, Katie, exactly. I can only have one thing per medium. And so listening is for podcasts. It's my struggle right now. I don't know. Maybe if I got caught up on all my podcasts and I was only listening to like the new releases every week, then it would be fine. I don't know. Yes, Brene Brown for Perfectionism. Good recommendation. I put basically all of her books on my Christmas list. Becca, it's the little, you can't do it on this video because it's live, but when you go watch a video after this, it's the little gear that looks like settings, and then you can click speed, and then you can actually slow it down and speed it up. Some people have said I talk way too fast and they need to slow me down. I was looking at this next question. You guys, I asked him this and he said, which if you were here for when you asked me this, he goes, I don't really want to be a prince. Can I just be Olaf? I'm telling you, he's Olaf. He's not a prince. I mean, he's my prince, but he's not a prince. Yes, Amy, this is not Amy, Tina. I'm mixing up Amy, Plan with Stormy. I am planning to watch the Rockefeller tree lighting. I've actually never been in person because it is just a madhouse. The one time I tried, it was just like way too overwhelming. But it starts at 7 my time. So I still have plenty of time. But yes, I am planning to watch it tonight. Yeah, exactly, Robin. When am I supposed to consume content? Am I doing any subscriptions? I'm still getting the Allie Edwards subscription, the monthly subscription that she offers. And that's it. That's the only one that I'm getting. I did take a break from FabFitFun. I just feel like I had way too many things that I'm trying to work through. And part of me, even though it's a really, really good deal, I really wanted to spend my money on buying products that I'm excited about rather than just like getting these products in my FabFitFun box. So I decided to take a break from FabFitFun. And so Allie Edwards is the only subscription I'm getting right now. Yeah, he likes warm hugs, guys. And he thinks everything is going to be better when he's older. Audiobooks are better for fiction. See, this is when I listen to podcasts, Heather. It's a super bummer. Oh my gosh, Mackenzie, I'm so proud of you for doing your Peloton ride. I can't wait to hear all about it. Sarah, will there be a New Year's Eve party in New York City this year? Gosh, I hope not. I hope all those people aren't going to crowd themselves in Times Square. Although I guess if you were going to go, this might be the year to go because hopefully nobody will be there. I don't know. Yes. Oh, I did see this, Alex. Today, David's Tea sent out an email that they are doing a quarterly subscription. What I don't like about it is they make you buy all 4 quarters at one time. If they had let me buy just the first quarter to try it out, I totally would have bought it. But because they wanted me to buy all 4, I was like, I can't. I'm going to have extra tea from the advent calendar. I have tea I need to get through. Like, I can't justify all 4 quarters right now. So I felt the same, Robin. Yeah, about FabFitFun. I still like FabFitFun. And again, it is an incredible, incredible value, but I just felt like I needed a break. We needed to take a break. And I still have a bunch of credits in my account too. So I need to figure out what to do with that. I don't know. Maybe give one as a gift. Oh, this is a fun question, Candace. Have I ever been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter? If so, what was your favorite part? I have. My favorite part is just walking around and looking at the little details. They thought of everything. There are so many intricate pieces that they're amazing. It's so magical. You just feel like you're transported into another. I've been 3 times. The first time I went in a robe no, actually I wore a robe 2 of the 3 times. I went with my friend Sam, not my current Sam. And we both were just like, we were adults and we had never been and we had jobs and we were like, why can't we just pay for ourselves to go to Disney World? Why do we have to wait for our families? So we planned a trip, just the 2 of us, to Harry Potter World and to Disney World. And it was amazing. And then I went with my family, which was magical because then I got to see my brother experience it. And then I went with Sam. We went with his work actually. And it's just so magical. I don't know if I've mentioned this before anywhere, but that is where I want to do my bachelorette party. Ooh, I'm assuming that you mean my favorite cheat meal. My favorite cheat meal. I don't know. Anything with potatoes probably, but potatoes aren't that bad for you. I don't know. It's really more desserts and cocktails. Those are my cheating things more than like the actual food. That makes sense, Heather. I think there's some days that I could listen to an audiobook while I work and some days that I couldn't. Just like some days I listen to podcasts or watch YouTube and some days I just listen to music while I work. It depends on what I'm doing that day. Agreed, Joss. There wasn't really a whole lot of fitness in there. That's a fair point, Ashley. The fun part about audiobooks is like all the background stuff. Yeah. Steal away, Elise. I saw it probably somewhere else that I took from somebody else. But yeah, that's definitely where I'm planning to do it. Heather, I was thinking the same thing when I watched her video today. I was like, oh, I feel like I've heard her mention it before too, but I've never actually tried it. I'm all caught up again. Yes, Robin. It is very on brand. And we'll do Disney too. It's not just going to be Harry Potter World. It's going to be Disney and Harry Potter. But that obviously got postponed with the wedding. We just picked up and moved everything 1 year later. So, talking to the night bus driver, Beth. Yeah, that was fun. I will say the first time I went, I got chosen to be the like person in Ollivanders to like test out the wands, and it was really awesome. I felt a little ridiculous that they chose a grown human, me, over a child. But again, I was in a robe and it was like in the middle of the day on a Thursday. So there weren't that many people in there. But remember when there were lots of people in enclosed spaces? When is that going to be a thing again? Amy, no. Charlie does not see or interact with the other cat. She stays down here. She's behind me. She stays down here while the other 3 cats stay in there. Oh, this question was asked at the very beginning. I don't actually know. I think I saw somewhere in the Facebook group about December, but honestly, I don't remember. So, all right, y'all, we are getting to the end and I want to make sure that I have time to do one thing before I head up and have dinner with my family. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live here. Let me know down in the comments, what is one thing that you are doing this week to make progress on your goals? Where's our question? One thing you're doing this week to make progress on your goals. Let me know down in the comments. Heather, I see your question. Any word of the year hints? I don't have any because I haven't chosen. I haven't even remotely chosen. It'll come to me during my prep work next week, I think. Yeah. Oh my God, Brian, me too. Me too. Oh, that makes me feel better, Jessica. It wasn't just me. I'm a Ravenclaw. Decluttering, setting up your Christmas tree, walking. Look at all these walking outside, stretching, starting your Power Sheets prep work. That's a good one. I wasn't clicking on any of these. All the walking. You're tracking 4 habits. I love this. And you can just start with tracking. Even if you're not doing it every day, that's okay. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Jessica. Starting your December daily, watching the Goal School videos. That's a good one. Moxie Life Prep, setting up your 2021 planner. I need to figure out what I need to do to set up my 2021 planners as well. So much to look forward to, you guys. Happy day 2 of Vlogmas. Thank you for hanging out with me this week. Before you head out, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And not live videos. We'll be back tomorrow on my channel for Vlogmas. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You're just gonna have to watch and see. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you tomorrow or next week at 6 p.m. Eastern. Happy planning.